Hello, everyone. So last weekend there was a Grand Prix in Japan, in Kobe, and as always, there were some sweet decks. So a lot of cool stuff on Daily Digest this week, but also I'm going to do a video on one of these decks. This deck got second. Can you believe that? This deck is just full of crappy black and white creatures, pretty much, but it looks pretty good, actually. So little bit of synergy going on here. Got a little warrior strategy with some Chief of the Edges. Mardu Woe Reaper is pretty good at exiling stuff. Same with Silk Wrap and Stasis Snare. So we got a couple Wasteland Stranglers in there. And then there's just like, Gideon, which is probably the best card in the new set. Makes use of Mardu Strike Leader, which is a card that hasn't seen too much play. There have been some pretty aggressive decks that have used this card, but mostly it has not seen a ton of play. But in this deck, it actually looks pretty nice. So we can actually move these strike leaders over here, because that's generally what you do, is you dash them. This deck got second place. 10 removal spells, basically a pile of creatures, and that's about it. Only 2 Shambling Vents. Basically want our lands to enter the battlefield untapped. There are 4 Caves of Koilos to try and cast our spells. And then we have some fetch duel shenanigans to make it so, in the mid-ish game or on turn 1, if you don't have 1-drop, like, you can Flooded Strand for a Sunken Hollow and have your black mana. So, doesn't play too well with the 1-drops, but I do think that this means that you get basically a bunch of dual lands, which is pretty nice. And then your mana, for the most part, enters the battlefield untapped. So, main deck, not a lot to say, I do like the fact that there are 10 removal spells. That's not even counting the Wasteland Stranglers, which are, basically 2 more removal spells. But Valor's Stance is really good right now. A lot of Abzan. Silk Wrap, obviously very good against things like Jason, Hangerback Walker. Stasis Snare, pretty good against the other bigger stuff, too. Having Flash is okay, but, doesn't really matter all that much in this deck. And then for the sideboard, have a lot of stuff to hate on the decks that go bigger than you. So we have a few counter spells, some Transgress the Mines, Mastery the Unseen, and Secure the Wastes. And those are, basically for decks that are just going bigger than you. Counter spells for Sweepers and Big Planeswalkers, Transgress mostly for Ulamog, I would assume. Mastery for any matchup where they have a bunch of removal. Same thing with Secure the Waste. Makes Warrior tokens, which is pretty tight. A couple more removal spells, the Stance and Stasis Snare, so you can max out on those. 3rd Wasteland Strangler, and then a couple ultimate prices. So it looks like the sideboard covers its bases pretty nicely, and that's about it. So today we're going to attack some people. We're going to finish out this league that I started, and that's it. Let's get to it.